ॐ दक्षिणस्य समारम्भा शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमा अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ता स्मर्या गुरुपरम्परा श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः परिज्ञानाश्रम श्रीगुरुशङ्कर परिज्ञानाश्रम शङ्कर सद्गुरु केशववामन कृष्णपाण्डुरङ्ग आनन्द परिज्ञान गुरु सद्यो जात शङ्कर सद्गुरु गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः श्रीहरिं परमानन्दम् उपदेष्टारमीश्वरं व्यापकं सर्वलोकानां कारणं तं नमाम्यहम्. So we completed the 30th verse of Aparokshanubhuti in the last session, and till now Bhagavan Shankaracharya is discussing that I am not the body. Now, why Bhagavan Shankaracharya is taking so many verses to explain that I am not the body? He tries to initially ask you questions and make you think, is it possible for me to be this body? What are the differences between me and the body? He tries to make us understand through yukti. Yukti means what? Logically. And after that, Bhagavan Shankaracharya tries to use Veda Pramana also to confirm, to make us understand that I cannot be the body. Various kinds of yukti or logical explanations he has used, especially from the 17th to the 23rd verse, and from this verse also, after the 23rd verse also, Bhagavan Shankaracharya is reiterating again and again, using similar principles of logic, bringing in logic or yukti, to say that I am not the body. And we saw from 29 to 30th verses also till the 30th verse. I think we completed the 29th verse in the last session, and I just introduced the 30th verse also, which was talking about the same thing, that I cannot be the body. I can say that I'm incidentally associated with the body. Like that, I'm incidentally associated with so many things. And I say, this is mine. I am incidentally living in this house. Incidentally. Okay? And I also say, for Vyavaharika purposes, for the purposes of transaction, I say, this is my house. But then, just because I'm associated with this house, am I the house? No. Just because this house is something which I say is mine for whatever reason at present, really speaking, nothing belongs to me. Nothing is really mine. Everything is given by Ishvara, everything is Ishvara's. But for the sake of transaction, we have to say that this is my house, so I have to take certain responsibilities to take care of this house or whatever I have to do with it, and therefore it becomes mine. Okay, does it mean that just because I'm incidentally associated with this house because I'm living in it, and just because for transaction purposes I say it is my house, am I the house? I'm not. Similarly, this body is also like a house. It is the deha in which I, the consciousness principle or the Chaitanya principle, Chaitanya Atma, Aham, the Chaitanya Atma, I am abiding in this body also. We have seen that in Bhagavad Gita. Navadvare pure dehi. This dehi or this Atma is residing in this body. But does it mean that it is residing only in this body? No, it is everywhere. The Atma is everywhere, but it is also in this body, and therefore it is associated with this body. Like when I say Bhagwan Shiva's temple, what do I mean? There is a temple in which I go and worship Lord Shiva. Does it mean Lord Shiva is not there anywhere else? Lord Shiva is everywhere. In everything, in every temple, in everywhere Lord Shiva is. But Lord Shiva is also available in this temple because it is there that I avail of that all pervasive Shiva. Similarly, this Atma is everywhere as consciousness, as existence, but it is easily, understandable that it is the content of this body because this body is closely associated with Atma, or I am closely associated with this body. But just because I am associated with this body, does it make that I am this body? It is not so. Then what is my Swarupam? My Swarupam is what? That I am actually the Dehatita Atma. Sthula, Sukshma, Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira Vyatirikta. Chaitanya Atma Ahamasmi. That is what we have seen all this time in all the texts we have studied. And Bhagwan Shankaracharya, even though we are in the 30th verse, still this topic about I am not the body is going on. And we feel there is a lot of repetition. We feel that there is lot of the saying the same thing, I am not the body, in different ways. Is it a dosha? Is it a deficiency in Bhagwan's work? Is it a punarukti dosha? We say punarukti means repeating something is a dosha. Dosha means what? It is a weakness on the part of the author. When the author does not know what to say next, he goes on repeating. That's what we say. But not so. When it is difficult, when something is difficult to understand, it has to be repeated again and again. Therefore, Bhagwan Krishna also in Bhagavad Gita repeats the Atma Swarupam again and again and again. Why? Durbodhatvat, Vastunaha Sukshmatvat. This Vastu or that which I am wanting to know, the Atma or Brahman, being a very subtle thing, difficult to understand. All the acharyas, all the teachers repeat it again and again, shabdataya or arthataya. Shabdataya, shabdataha punaruktihi, arthataha punaruktihi. That means what? Sometimes we may find the same words also coming. In different verses, we find the same word also coming, but maybe in a different context. So, artha also is repeated again. And that is why it is said generally that teachers become very repetitive. We have seen that even in schools and colleges, because when we are learning something new, when the concept is difficult to understand, the teacher has to repeat it again and again. And that's why probably we teachers become repetitive and keep on repeating the same thing again and again, even in our other vyavaharas, and probably irritate other people. It has become a what you call as an occupational kind of a weakness for us. So here in the 30th verse we saw स्वात्मानं शृणु मूर्खत्वं श्रुत्या युक्त्या च पूरुषं देहातीतं सदाकारं सुदुर्दर्शं भवादृशो. So he's saying here, hey Murkha. Hey Murkha means he's addressing an Ajnani, he's addressing us. Murkha here means a person who has a delusion, a deluded intellect. What is our Murkhata? It is out of ignorance we are strongly identified with this body. So, to remove this strong entanglement or strong attachment with the body, to the extent of saying that I am the body, every Vedanta teacher has to go on repeating this again and again and again in various ways till something or the other clicks in our minds. So, hey Murkha Shrunutvam, hey ignorant person, please listen. Svatmanam Shrutya Yuktya Cha Purusham. Okay? And Yukti also, that means what? Biologically also. Shruti, the Vedas also, are constantly telling us that I or you, what you think you, are not the body. Okay? So he says here, why? Dehatitam. This is an Atma or consciousness other than the matter principle body. This Atma or when I say I have said several times, I includes a mixture of the body mind sense complex and I, the Atma Swarupa. Out of this, I call the body also I, the mind also I, the sense organs also I, and I, the Sakshi Chaitanya Atma also I. So, out of these several I's that I think I am, which of them is really me? So, here he says, you are not the body, you are Dehatitam Sadakaram. Dehatitam. Dehatitam means what? That consciousness principle which is beyond or which is other than the matter principle body, Dehatitam, Sadakaram, that which is of the nature of existence all the time. Trikale api tishtati iti sat. All the time, you as Atma are existing everywhere, in every jiva, in every non living being, in non living, whatever is non living world, Jadat, in all the Jada aspects or Jada vastus of the Jagat also, you exist. Existence Rupena, Satta Rupena, you exist. At the same time, you exist in your own body. Satta Rupena, you exist. Satta means what? As existence. And what do the Vedas call this? Purusham. Purusham means what? Purusham means, that consciousness which is of the nature of knowing and consciousness. Puri shete iti purushaha. That which is available in this body also for me to recognize. That which is all over, that which is spread as existence all over, that which is the consciousness in everything around, that is that me which is available in this body also. But at the same time, sududursham bhavad adrishau. Therefore, it is not recognized by me as such because of its very subtle nature. Durdarsham. It's not an object for me to pick it up as an object. An object in front of me is very difficult to, miss, isn't it? Very difficult to miss. It's very easy to pick up an object if it is gross enough. Space is in front of me, air is in front of me. Can I see that? No. At least air or wind I can perceive by its sound. I can perceive by my skin that wind is blowing. I can't see it. What about space? I can't perceive that space, the space in front of me, by any of my sense organs. It is not an object of my perception, but I infer that there is space because there is a provision for everything to exist here. Avakasha, Avakasha Pradatru, this Akasham is, so I'm able to perceive it. So I, the Atma, which is subtler than this space, I am what? Sudurdarsham. That means what? It is very difficult because it's not an object of perception. Then what is it? It is the very subject itself. That which I say I am, that I am is this Atma. Therefore, you are not the body. You are Dehatitam. You are of the nature of existence, Sadakaram. You are of the nature of consciousness, Purusham. And you are not able to see yourself as that because of it being very, very subtle, you, the very subject itself, and not an object of your perception. So, with this, some verses of Yukti have been, finished, but continues the Yukti Pramana. Bhagwan continues the logical explanation that is given here, and he asks in the next one also, 31st verse. Aham shabdena vikhyatah एक एव स्थितः परः स्थूलः तु अनेकतां प्राप्तः कथं स्याद्देहकः पुमान्. How can this body you be the you? Katham syat, okay, how can it be katham syat deha kaha puman? Okay, this deha, how can you be this deha? How can you, the puman, be this deha? Why? Aham shabdena vikhyataha. That atma or that I which I call I, aham shabdena vikhyataha. I always call myself aham. I am. As we saw in Dakshinamurti Stotram, aham aham iti spurantam. Aham asmi iti I know. Nobody can disprove the fact that I am, I know. I am first, then I say I know something else. Therefore, aham shabdena vikhyataha. Aham shabdena vikhyataha. That means well known as I, ahamasmi, ahamiti, yeka yeva sthitaha paraha. Okay? Yeka yeva sthitaha paraha. That is the highest. Paraha, eka eva, eka, one and the only consciousness, everywhere. One and the only existence, everywhere, which is also available for experience in this body. Yeka eva sthitaha. Yeka eva sthitaha. It is one and the only there all the time. And not only that, paraha. Eka eva sthitaha paraha. That is the highest. That is the most exalted one. Okay? Eka eva sthira paraha. Sthulaha tu anekatam praptaha. Whereas the sthula sharira is anekatam praptaha. There are many, there are hundreds of organs in this body, more than 200 bones in this body, millions of cells in this body. So many things, the anekata prapti is there. Aneka. The whole body may be working as a single unit, but they are all put together. There are multiple millions of functioning units put together by Ishvara and resulting in a functioning unit called as the body. But it is not one. It is anekatam praptaha. That which is gross, that which has multiple parts in that. So the body is avayavi. What is the meaning of avayavi? That which is put together. that which has multiple parts. Stho, sthula hatu. That means the sthula sharira hatu anekatam praptaha. Anekatam, avayavi, savikaraha. So it is constantly changing. It is multiple. It is put together. It has various parts. Whereas what are you? Aham. Aham is what? Vikhyataha eka eva sthitah paraha. Eka eva. Eka eva means what? It is one continuous, homogeneous, simultaneous consciousness. It is not put together. There are no multiple parts in it. It is not something with multiple things put together like this body or like a car or something. Multiple parts are put together and made into a one single functioning unit like a car. Similarly, this body is also like that. This body is also like that. Therefore, how can you, the one consciousness, the one and the only consciousness, which cannot be divided, indivisible, nirvikaraha, Niravayavi consciousness, you aham, how can you be this body which is sthulaha, which is gross, which is anekatam praptaha? Therefore, you are not that. How can you be that body? This is the question he is asking. Katham syad dehakaha puman. How can you be this body, which is exactly of the opposite nature? Therefore, Atma and Anatma are shown to be exactly of opposite nature. That is how, by logic, it is proved that Atma cannot be Anatma. Atma, I, Aham, the Chaitanyam, cannot be the Anatma body. And all these arguments are the various arguments which are used in that line to make me understand that what ultimately Atma ekaha. Shariram is what? It is anekaha, multiple things are put together in that. Atma is niravayavi, body is avayavi. Atma is nirvikaraha, body is savikaraha. Atma is nirgunaha, body is sagunaha. Atma is ekaha, shariram is anekaha. Atma is the ultimate satyam, paramarthika satyaha. And the body is what? Mithya, constantly changing. Today it's there, tomorrow it is not there. These are the arguments used by the Upanishads to make us understand that I am not the body. Now, another concept is being used here in the next verse, in the 32nd verse, called as the Drik Drishya Viveka. What is the meaning of this? There is a object which is called as Drishyam. And to perceive that Drishyam, there should be a perceiver. There is an object here, this book is there, which is Drishyam. So to say that this is a book, there should be a perceiver of this book. So the book is the known, the Drishyam. The perceiver is the knower or the Drik. Now I say, I see this book. Am I the book? Is the perceiver of the book the book? No. Book is the perceived object. Idam. We call it idam. Idam. This. This is a book. Idam. This is a book. Whereas what am I? Aham. I know this book. I see this book. Correct? So book becomes idam. This object. Whereas I the knower becomes what? I the knower am, okay? I know or I see this book. So I become the perceiver consciousness. The consciousness which perceives this object as the book. Therefore, whatever is perceived as an object is called as drishyam, and whoever is the perceiver of this object is called as it is a consciousness, it's a conscious principle. That which perceives an object is a conscious principle. Therefore, it is aham. Therefore, it is what called aham and idam, or drik and drishya. That is what is being told here in the 32nd verse. Aham drishtritaya siddhaha deho drishyataya sthitaha mama ayam iti nirdeshat katham syat deha kaf puman. So here the same argument in a little different way is being used. Aham drashtritaya siddhaha. I am the drashtru or drishta. I am the observer. I am the seer. That chaitanyam, that consciousness which sees, that consciousness because of which the eyes see. I am that drishta. I am that drishtru, drishtritaya siddha. So I am very well established as the very knower, and deho drishyataya stita. What is deha? The known. So who am I? The Atma, the Chaitanyam, consciousness, the knower, the perceiver, drik. And what is it that is perceived? Idam shariram. That's why in 13th chapter, Bhagwan Krishna, in Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga, Bhagwan Krishna said to Arjuna, Idam shariram kaunteya, idam shariram. This sharira is called as the kshetram. Kshetram it abhidiyate. Hey Arjuna, this body, idam shariram. Whereas who am I? Aham dadrik. What is this body? Idam dadrishyam. Therefore he says, Aham drishtritaya siddha, dehaha drishyataya sthitaha. The deha is always a drishyam, an object of my perception. I am always the perceiver of the body. Mama ayam iti nirdesha. Ayam shariraha. This body, I say. This body is mine, I say. Mama. So when you say idam and mama, ayam and mama, how can that be I? How can I be that? Let us say that that is more specific. How can I be that? So, mama ayam iti nirdeshat katham syad deha kaha puman. Okay, okay. So, how can you, the person, be this body? This body is always addressed as my body, incidentally associated with me. So, therefore, my body. Or I say this body. Correct? So anything which gets these two names, ayam and mama iti, how can that body be regarded as I myself? How can I be that body? This body needs me. This body, the anatma, requires I, the atma, for its existence. It requires me, the atma, for all its functions. But I am not that body. That is what is being said here. Next, in the next, so I can give you a if there is any difficulty in this, I can give you a very simple example. I have given this example earlier also. See, there is an actor A who is playing the role of a begging person B. He's just playing the role, correct? The B, the begging person, cannot independently exist, correct? The B, the begging person, is A, but A is not B, isn't it? This actor A is really not B, he's only playing a role. Incidentally, he's playing a role of B, the begging person. He may be C in this next movie or next play. Similarly, I, the Atma, cannot be this which I am seeing as the body. But the body, for its existence, for its functioning, requires the blessings of I, the Atma, for its existence, for its sentience. I, the Atma, lend existence and consciousness to this body to make it sentient and capable of vyavahara in this world. Therefore, though this body needs me or draws existence and consciousness from me, I am not the body. I am only the lender of existence and consciousness to this body. If you understand this, then it becomes easy to understand that why I am not the body. Then the next one, another reason is given. So many reasons I gave you just some time back, 5 or 6 reasons. Next he says in the 33rd verse, Aham vikarahi deho nityam vikaravan iti pratiyate sakshat katham syat deha kaf puman. So, aham vikarahinaha, I, the consciousness, or I, the Chaitanyam, is vikarahinaha. Correct? I don't change. Okay? So uh, Bhagavad Gita also, Bhagwan Krishna said, Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavanam jara. It is the same I who was present when I was a baby. It is the same I who is there as a balaka or balika. It is the same I which is there, and as a youth it is the same I. The body is changing, whereas that consciousness which is available in this body, because of which this body is undergoing changes and functioning, this I has not undergone any vikara. I am the same. When I said I am as a 5-year old, when I say I am as a 25-year-old, when I say I am as a 65-year-old, that I am has not undergone any change. It is the same experience. That is why we are able to very clearly say, I was there at that time. I did this, I did that, I did that. Now I am this. See, that time my body was like this. Now I am like this. Oh, look at this photograph. See how different I was. What is it that is able to perceive that body which was there at that time and now that which is there and recognize the same thing? That is that never changing, unchanging consciousness. If consciousness also changes, if aham also changes, then how can I recognize all the changes that the body has gone through? Isn't it? How can I? I can't make out. What it means is, it is only a changeless observer who is aware of all the changes that are happening in the observed. Correct? I was here in this house 60 years ago. So I know how this was, how the surroundings were. Now, after 60 years, also, it is the same I who knows now what are the changes that have taken place. Now, how this house is, what were the surroundings around. If I, the knower, also had changed, along with the surroundings which is changing, who would be the knower then? Who would change? There is one Bauddha system of philosophy called as Kshanika Vijnanavada. Here they say consciousness is not constant all the time, it keeps changing. Supposing consciousness keeps changing, how will I know that I was the one who knew? How will I know I was the one who started this session? Kshanika Vijnana, I won't even know then. I'm the same person who started this session. I know what I'm speaking. I have a continuity in what is happening. And at the end of 1 hour, I will stop. So, what is it? There is a continuous, non changing consciousness principle, the Chaitanyam, which is nirvikari, constantly there without any changes. Whereas dehaha nityam vikaravan. Here, nityam means constantly changing. Here, nityam does not mean, nitya means all the time there. No, it does not mean that. It's not imperishable. Deho nityam vikaravan. Deha is constantly changing. What this deha was yesterday, it is not today. Therefore, deha is constantly changing. So, aham vikarahinaha. tu dehaha nityam vikaravan iti pratiyate. It is very clearly seen, isn't it? That is very, very clearly, directly seen by us. Nobody has to tell me. I'm the same, the observer. I know all the changes that are taking place. And I also know that as the consciousness principle, as the Chaitanyam, I have not changed. It is directly perceived by us. Iti pratiyate. We don't observe it, that's all. But at the same time, it is known to us. Iti pratiyate sakshat. Directly it is available to us. Katham syad dehakaha puman. How can this I be this puny, ever changing body, which is there today, not there tomorrow? Next one, he wants to now give, till, all this, till the 33rd verse. We saw the same ideas that we saw from the 17th verse to the 23rd verse. Now, Bhagwan Shankaracharya wants to give the Veda Pramana for this. Because nobody should, ask Bhagwan Shankaracharya, how can you say this? This is your own philosophy. So nobody should say that. That is why Bhagwan Shankaracharya or any of these acharyas who write Prakarana Granthas will always give Shruti Pramana. Veda Pramana is given to say that this is what the Vedas also say with respect to this. So all that has been talked about here, now Bhagwan says, I will give you the Shruti Pramana for that. So let us see the 34th verse and see what the Shruti Pramanas that are given. Yasmat paramiti shrutya taya purushalakshanam vinirnitam vishuddhena katham syadeha kaf Okay, so the Vedic hymns or the Vedantic mantras are always giving this particular understanding in most of the Upanishad. Yasmat param, this Atma or this I is that which is the ultimate truth. Yasmat param, that which is actually higher, exalted, most exalted, which is beyond this body. This body, mind, sense complex, I am not. I, the Atma, is something which is much the higher truth than this Vyavaharika Satyam. Aham, the Atma, is the Paramarthika Satyam, the absolute reality. It is not a Vyavaharika Satyam or a temporary reality as the body that we see. So he says, Yasmat Paramiti Shrutya Taya Purusha Lakshanam. Purusha Lakshanam here. Purusha means what here? Atma Lakshanani are given. That this is something which is the highest truth and that which is sthula, sukshma, karana vyatiriktaha, okay, panchakosha vilakshanaha, avasthatraya sakshi, drik swarupa atma is what is talked about by all the Upanishads. So he says here, Purusha Lakshanam Vinirnitam Vishuddhena. Okay, so what? Purusha Lakshanam, that Vishuddha Purusha, the highest Param, Paramatma, Atma is nothing other than Paramatma, is Vinirnitam, which is very, very clear. That which is higher, that which is of the ultimate reality, which is Paramarthika Satyam, Param, than, and that is Vishuddham, that is pure light of consciousness. Iti, many of the Upanishads also talk about it. And here, this particular verse, Bhagwan Shankaracharya takes from the Taittiriya Upanishad. So we don't have to go to the exact verse of the Taittiriya Upanishad, but this one is, the Taittiriya Upanishad gives in especially its fourth thing called as Bhriguvalli. In Bhriguvalli, it gives this particular thing as to what is this verse is given, that it is nothing but Atma itself. Atma is not the body, it is Param. Param. What Param? It is the highest reality. It is the highest order of reality. So he quotes one Upanishad, the Taittiriya also it quotes. Then let us see the next one. So what does he say in that next proof? The next one which gives another proof. The next verse gives another proof from the Shruti. Another proof from the Shruti is from Purusha Sukta. We have seen, isn't it Purusha Sukta? We have seen, we have heard every day, every time it is chanted in our mat, the Purusha Sukta. It is chanted. So, what is that which is said here in Purusha Sukta? Purusha Sukta comes in where? It comes in the Krishna Yajurveda. And what does the Purusha Sukta talk about? Sarvam Purusha ye veti sukte Purusha sannite अप्युच्यते यतः श्रुत्या कथं स्याद्देह कः पुमान्. How can you be this body? Katham syat tad deha kaha puman means how can you be this puny, ever changing, unhealthy body? And the example or the pramana, Shruti pramana, which is given here is that which is taken from one of the verses of Purusha Sukta, which says, Sarvam Purusha ye veti sukte Purusha sannite. In Purusha Sukta, it is said that, what does it say? It says that, Sarvam Purusha yeva. Everything is only this Purusha. Purusha means what? This consciousness. Everything. That is why in Purusha Sukta it says, everything was born out of this. Everything is living because of this. All the Upanishads talk about that. That which is the Srishti Karanam, that which is the Sthiti Karanam, that which is the Laya Karanam, that in which the entire universe with all the jivas appears, that in which, that consciousness in which all the jivas and the entire Upanishad are supported, sthiti, and that in which, that consciousness in which the entire universe gets resolved back into its potential form. All this is nothing but that Atma. Whatever you see here in this Jagat is nothing but you, that existence, consciousness, Atma. Therefore, Sarvam Purusha Yeva iti. Whatever you see is nothing but the manifestation of this Purusha. Similarly, this body also is a manifestation of this consciousness. Consciousness is not the body, but the consciousness manifests itself as a body. The consciousness itself manifests as the whole universe. That is why Sarvam Ishvaramayam Jagat. Sarvam Brahmamayam Jagat. That is what is talked about. Therefore, what it says is all that has been there, all that is here, all that will ever be there is nothing but this consciousness, and you are that consciousness, and you are that Purusha. Therefore, Sarvam Purusha Yeva iti Sukte Purusha Sangite Api Uchyate Yataha Shrutya. All this is the Purusha only. Purusha have already given, Purayati Sarvam iti Purusha. Purishete iti Purusha. That consciousness which Purayati Sarvam. That which is, abiding in everything. That in which everything abides. That which is pervasive everywhere. Purayati Sarvam iti Purusha. And that consciousness which is available in this body also. Purishete iti Purusha. You are that Purusha api uchyate yatah shrutya katham syat dehaka puman. How can you be this drishya swarupi savikari, okay? Then nitya vikari atma. Nityam means nityam vikari, all the time, constantly changing deha. How can you be this nityam vikari deha? How can you be that? You are nitya atma. never changing any time at all. Apyuchyate yatah shrutya katham syad dehakah pumam. And then there is one more that is given as the pramana for I am that consciousness. In the Shukla Yajurveda, all these two that he gave, Taittiriya Upanishad Pramanam, Purusha Sukta Pramanam, was from the Krishna Yajurveda. Now, the Shukla Yajurveda Pramanam he's giving from the Brahadaranyaka Upanishad. He gives this from Brahadaranyaka Upanishad. There is a chapter here called as the Swayam Jyoti Brahmana. And in this is the Brahmana, or Brahmana means here, this is the chapter in which the most important definitions of the Swarupam of Atma, the Swarupam of this Purusha, the Swarupam of I, Aham, are given. The Swarupam or the nature of me, the consciousness, you find in the Swayam Jyoti Brahmana. And he says here in the 36th verse, let's see the 36th verse. असङ्गः पुरुषः प्रोक्तः बृहदारण्यकेऽपि च अनन्तम् अमलसंश्लिष्टम् अनन्तमलसंश्लिष्टं शिष्टः कथं स्याद्देहकः पुमान् अनन्तमलसंश्लिष्टः कथं स्याद्देहकः पुमान्. So says here, Asangaha Purushaha. Asangohi Ayam Purushaha. It is said in that Swayam Jyoti chapter, Swayam Jyoti Brahmana of Brahadaranyaka Upanishad. Asangohi Ayam Purushaha. This Purushaha or this consciousness is Asangaha. That means what? It is everywhere but not afflicted by what it is manifesting as. The whole universe is manifested in this Purusha, exists in this Purusha, resolves in this Purusha, but not affecting the Purusha in any way. There is no Sangha. Therefore, this Purusha is Asanga. Why Asanga? Because Purusha or this Atma is Paramarthika Satyam and the Jagat is Vyavaharika Satyam. Therefore, Vyavaharika Satyam cannot in any way sully or cannot in any way dirty the Paramarthika Satyam Atma. We can take an example. If there is a mirage, illusion, we are seeing mirage water, we see water, but the water is not wetting the sand. Why? Because the mirage water is of a lower order of reality, it is not really there. Therefore, similarly, this body and the Jagat that we are seeing is called as a Vyavaharika Satyam. It is called as Mithya. It is called as an experiential reality. Whereas I, the Purusha, or I, the Atma, is the only reality, the ultimate reality, it being the Param or the Paramarthika Satyam. Though there are millions of names and forms which are associated with this Atma, it cannot have any Sangha, it cannot have any association, it cannot have any kind of a sullying by the Anatma. Similarly, this Purusha Aham, though I am in and through this body mind sense complex, I am an in and through every functioning cell of this body mind sense complex. But I, the Purusha or Atma, is Asanga, Paramarthikatvat. Because I am the ultimate reality, I am Asangaha. I have no Sangha. I do not join or do not get involved with that body mind sense complex which I am lighting up. Like the light lights up all the objects. Does the light get affected by the objects that it lights up? No. Sunlight lights up even the dirtiest of the objects on the earth. Does it get affected by the dirtiness of those objects? Does the sunlight get affected by the cleanliness of a clean place? No. Sunlight is asangaha. In spite of it lighting up everything in this jagat. This light which is there here is lighting up everything here, but is it affected by it? Is there any sangha for this light? No. The space is there everywhere. It is in and through everything here, but does the space get affected by its surroundings? No. Similarly, asango hi ayam purushaha. This purusha means this consciousness is asangaha proktaha brahadaranyake api. Brahadaranyaka Upanishad in its chapter, fourth chapter, called as the Swayam Jyoti Brahmana, not the first chapter and fourth section, 1-4, it causes what is, which says what is called as asangohi ayam purushaha. I am the asanga, that is what is said here. So what does he say? That this purushaha is asangaha ananta mala samslishtaha, this deha. Opposite, this deha is ananta mala samslishtaha. There are plenty of impurities in this body. This body is full of impurities. Anantamala samslishtaha katham syat dehakaha puman. How can I be that body which is full of impurities? Whereas I am the one who's asanga. I'm not affected by any of the qualities or the gunas or the shortcomings or the limitations of the body mind sense complex. The body may be limited, the body may be diseased, the body may be changing. But I, the Purushaha, is Asangaha. Though I'm in and through this body, I am Asangaha, and therefore I am not afflicted by any of the limitations of the body mind sense complex. Then in the 37th verse it says, Tatraiva cha samakhyataha swayam jyotirhi purushaha jadah paraprakashyoyam katham syadeha kaf puman. Tatraivacha means where? In Swayam Jyoti Brahmana, in that Swayam Jyoti Brahmana chapter itself. Okay? Samakhyataha Purushaha. Swayam Jyotirhi Purushaha. It is Samakhyataha. In that particular chapter itself of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, this Chaitanya Atma is explained as self-revealing consciousness. I don't need somebody else to reveal me. I don't need another light to reveal me. I am self-luminous. I reveal myself as Ahamasmi, and I reveal everything else also. First, I reveal myself Aham, then I reveal everything that is the Idam. So, Tatraiva cha Samakhyataha Swayam Jyotirhi Purushaha. This Purusha, I, the consciousness, is Swayam Jyoti. I light up everything after me. I don't need anything else to light me up. I reveal myself and reveal everything. I don't need anything else to reveal me. We have seen that in the two Upanishads which we dealt before. That is both the Kathopanishad and Mundakopanishad. What did we see? Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam. Nema vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agni. So, neither the sun, nor the stars, nor the moon, nor the Agni, nor the light of lightning, none of these sources of light can light me, the Atma. I am that light of consciousness. I shine, and after me everything shines. Tasya bhasa sarvam idam vibhati. I shine first as Aham, and then everything shines after me. So tatraivacha, that is in Swayam Jyoti Brahmane, Purushaha Swayam Jyotihi iti Samakhyataha. That this Atma, this you is the self-revealing consciousness. And what? Jadaha Paraprakashyoyam. And I, this self-revealing consciousness, reveal all the Jada Prapancha. I, this self-revealing consciousness, reveal this Jada body also. This body is Jada, but it is made sentient by me. By me, the Atma, I donate or I lend sentience to this body. The body is not sentient by itself. It's not the nature of the body to be sentient by itself. And therefore, I reveal myself and I reveal this body. I enliven this body. I make everything available for observation, make everything available as drishyam, and I am the one who is the light of consciousness which reveals everything else. So, Jadaha Prakashyo Ayam. I am the lighter or revealer of this entire Jada Prapancha. The entire Jada Prapancha is revealed by me. Katham syat deha kaha puman. How can I be this puny Jada body? I am the very revealer of this Jada body. I just reveal this Jada Deha. This Deha is Jada. So I reveal this Jada Deha. The Prapancha name and form is Jada. I reveal this Jada Prapancha. So this body is Jada. I am the Chaitanya Swarupa Atma. I am the revealer consciousness. I am the light which reveals, and this body is the revealed body. Therefore, how can I, the revealer consciousness, be the revealed body? Okay, so that's what he says. Then just we will read this 38th verse, and then we'll have to do it again. Probably we don't have enough time to complete it, but proktopi karma kandena yatma dehadvilakshanaha nityascha tatphalam bhungte dehapatadanantaram. So it's not only in the Upanishads or in the Jnana Kanda or in the Vedanta that, I am being talked about as the Atma Swarupa. In the Karma Kanda of the Vedas also, I am being talked about, as that which is different or separate from the body. Karma Kandena Proktaha api hi Atma Dehad Vilakshana. Okay, this Atma is dehad vilakshanaha iti karma kande api. Okay, it is told in the karma kanda also. Why? Nityascha tatphalam bhunkte deha patad anantaram. This Atma, which manifests as the Jiva, is the one who travels from body to body. Of course, Atma doesn't have to travel because it is all pervasive. It is a Jiva which travels. But what is Jiva? It is the lower form of this consciousness. Chidabhasa is Jiva. Chit Atma Aham. Chidabhasa, the reflection of me, this consciousness, in the Buddhi, which is called as the Jiva, which you can say is the, the lower or the inferior type, what you call the Jiva and Atma. Jiva Rupena, the Atma itself is manifesting. And it is this Jiva who travels, Deha Patad Anantaram. It is this Jiva which travels and experiences all the sukhas and dukkhas that have been attained by my karma and my upasana. So whether I go to another world, whether I come back to this world, I go through, who is this I? This Jiva or the Chidabhasa, backed by me, the consciousness, as the experiencer consciousness, is the one which is also called as the experiencer consciousness, bhunkte deha patad anantaram. Okay, so this jivatma who travels from body to body, when one body is given up at the end of the prarabdha, which has attained papa and punya by various karmas. It is this jiva who goes through these experiences in various bodies. And what is that consciousness which makes this experience possible? It is the Nitya Atma Aham Me, which is the consciousness behind the experiencer jiva, behind the Karta Jiva. Aham Akarta Abhokta Atma, behind the Karta and Bhokta Jiva also. We'll take this up a little more in detail in the next session. ॐ नन्दन्तु साधका सर्वे विनश्यन्तु विदूषकाः अवस्थाशाम्भवी मेस्तु प्रसन्नोऽस्तु गुरुः सदा सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखमाप्नुयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ तत्सत्